Hey everyone, Ian from Eurogamer here. Now, I've just come back from having a week off for my birthday. I spent my birthday week very wisely by playing through the entirety of Resident Evil 7 in PSVR. I streamed the whole thing. I did 3-4 hour streams, played through the whole game in PlayStation VR, and I've got to say, it's probably one of the most amazing gaming experiences I ever had. Now, on the review embargoes that we were sent, there was a warning. It said basically, try playing through Resident Evil 7 in normal mode first before you try PSVR, and also, you know, limit the time a bit because it's quite intense. I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to go straight in and see how it was. Now, I came out of it my mind was blown, so I thought I'd give you 7 reasons why I think you should play Resident Evil 7 in PSVR. Even if you've played it in 2D already, you should still go back and play it through in PSVR. But I think you should play it through PSVR first time. So here's 7 reasons. Oh, and watch out because there might be a couple of spoilers just in case you haven't played it. So spoiler warning. Click L3 to run. That will probably be useful at some point. So far, so good on the nausea front. Okay, so the first reason is it's very good at not making you want to hurl. Now, PlayStation VR has all these warnings for, motion sickness and stuff. And VR itself, it can make people feel very motion sick, especially when you're playing first-person games. The first first-person game I ever played on PSVR was Riggs. I played that at Eurogamer Expo Rezzed last March. And it made me feel terribly ill, so I've always been a little bit wary about first-person games in PSVR. Thankfully, Resident Evil 7 comes with this whole VR tutorial mode, loads of different settings which will help ease you into the experience. You've got settings, for instance, one gives you this kind of imaginary cage round you, so you're always grounded. You have this kind of almost like a virtual cockpit. Even though I had the walk speed set to very slow, I played through with smooth turning enabled. Now, one of the default settings on the PlayStation VR version of Resident Evil 7 is the turns are kind of done in degrees, 30 degrees, 15 degrees, whatever. It's kind of like a blink turn. It reduces, pretty much kills any nausea anyway. If you turn it off, the turning's smooth, but it can make you feel a little bit icky, but it was fine for me. I managed to handle it pretty well. Didn't feel sick at all through any of my runs, even with smooth turning. And by the end of it, I was holding down the run loads to get my speed up. So if you're worried about it making you feel sick, then just go into the options, fiddle around with the options a bit, go through the VR training mode, and I promise you, you should have a pretty smooth ride, although you might feel sick from some of the gore, of course. Oh fuck, you can see right outside. This is cool, there's a caravan outside. This is not like cheaply done fake windows like you get in most games. You can proper see out the window, and that's so cool. Point number 2 is you really feel like you exist in the world. Now, there's plenty of first-person games out there. For instance, a Call of Duty game. I'll play a Call of Duty game and I will rush through the world, won't really care what I'm doing, shooting stuff, won't pay much attention to the scenery. With Resident Evil 7, you're surrounded by this game, and the production values on the graphics compared to a lot of the other PlayStation VR games are incredible. There's so much attention to detail in these worlds, the gory settings, undergrowth, weird reflections in blood puddles and things. There's just so much to walk around and look at, and a lot of my playthrough took 12 hours. But I reckon, if I hadn't been stopping to stare at things and to marvel at how good it looked and, just be in this world, I would have got through it a lot quicker. There was times when I would just be admiring the scenery, looking through windows to the outside of the Baker house. There was a bit where I was crawling through a small tunnel that was full of water, and I was putting my head under the water, coming up, and you had water dripping over the PlayStation VR visor. It just made me feel like I was actually in this world in a way that I don't think it would have done if I'd have played it in 2D first. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Oh no. Oh God, no. Oh God. Oh God, no. 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 The third point is obviously it's scarier in PlayStation VR, I think. There's a few reasons for this. One of the reasons, of course, is that you're encompassed in this world. When you're playing on TV, you're looking at a flat screen. You've got this whole real world around you still, and only a little window into this virtual world. So you've always got a mental escape just to the left or the right of you if you turn your head. When you're in PlayStation VR, you're absolutely encompassed in this world. One of the main things that makes it so scary in PlayStation VR is your brain tricks you into thinking that these characters, these NPCs, these monsters, that they're actual physical things that are in front of you. And you see it in these videos, these viral videos of people playing the kitchen demo where like they're flying back off their chairs or they're physically recoiling from something. There was a bit when I played through the game where Jack, the dad of the family, the Baker family dad, he comes like smashing through this wall like the Terminator, and just the physical presence of him barging through like gave me this almost fright or flight reflex. I didn't wee myself, but I just got this horrible chill through my body, and I panicked. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do? I really felt like he was coming at me. Same when I was playing the Marguerite boss fight. Now, there's one bit I was just chilling out. I thought I'd lost her for a second. I was chilling out, gaining my composure. I looked up and she was just looking above me through a hole in the ceiling. Fuck! And like, I just, again, absolutely terrified. No game has ever really been that intense. It was terrifying, but at the same time, the rush was amazing. Like, after doing it, holy shit. Whoa. It's kind of like the same feeling of, you know, coming off a roller coaster you're incredibly terrified to go on. You're fucking scared of the roller coaster before you go on it. You're fucking terrified as it's going around the loop-de-loop. But afterwards you're like, oh my God, I want to do it again. Yeah, incredibly scary, but that extra immersion and that extra fear makes the game just even more incredible as far as I'm concerned. So far so good. Who? I love that about PlayStation VR. Who? Fuck me! Point number 4 is to do with the head tracking on the PlayStation VR. I noticed this during the beginning hour demo when I played it, but I absolutely love the fact that the PlayStation 4 head tracking allows you to literally peer around corners. You're really scared in this game. You don't know what's around the corner. In the normal game, like I said, not really played it, but I presume you just kind of barge through rigidly round corners. With this, you can stop. You can slowly peer around corners to make sure there's like nothing there. If you open the door, like I was finding myself like looking around behind doors, looking up and over things. You really, like, the PSVR again, it just really lets you investigate this world so much more. than you possibly could in 2D. It makes you act, I guess, like you actually would in these kind of surroundings. There were points when I was completely frozen stiff with like fear. I didn't want to go forwards, and I did slowly by peeking around, making sure everything was clear. You know, it gives you this extra movement and fluidity that you don't get when you're rigidly playing a first-person shooter. Come on, come on. Yeah. Some of that shit face. Point number 5 follows on closely from that, and it's to do with the combat. The combat, again, is slightly different in the 3D version, the PSVR version, than it is to the 2D version, because you can control your aim with your head in PSVR. You just get this little targeting reticule, and wherever you're looking, dead center to where you're looking, is where you shoot. So it makes shooting feel much more realistic. It actually feels like you're lining up a shot, you're looking down the barrel of a gun, and you're taking that shot yourself, rather than making like a disembodied hand avatar shoot a bullet for you. It adds this physicality to the shooting that I don't really feel in other games as much, and I really appreciated taking like headshots, like blowing monsters' heads off with one shot with the double barrel shotgun with that mechanic. It felt really awesome. I felt like I was, you know, shitting my pants from the monsters, but like really defending myself. Thrills, rushes of excitement, taking their heads off. Absolutely terrified when I was shooting them, and then they're getting back up again. It was just such a breath of fresh air for first-person shooting. So dark in here. For point number 6, I've got to mention the audio design. When you're playing with PlayStation VR, of course you're already encompassed in this world, so there's no real escape unless you take your helmet off. Adding to that feeling of immersion is having the headphones on and this 360-degree sound that the game has. And the sound design is just really good at creeping you out, adding an extra like level of just a chilling fear. You can get kind of the same effect from wearing headphones plugged into a TV, of course, but if you're just playing on a TV with the audio coming out of the TV, you don't like hear noises behind you. You don't hear like the scuttling of insects above you. You don't like hear some kind of like they put all this random banging in and stuff that makes you jump. You're like, what the fuck was that? It's so much more powerful in PSVR and so much more involving. It's great. Good audio design. Oh my god. And the final point number 7, is a good point for me, because I was starting to suffer a little bit from buyer's remorse from the PlayStation VR. I was worried that AAA experiences wouldn't translate very well to the PlayStation VR, and especially first-person shooters because of motion sickness and stuff. And I can hands down 100% say, in my opinion, Resident Evil 7 fully justifies my purchase of the PlayStation VR, and I think I'd even say it's worth buying a PlayStation VR for. It proves to me that AAA games can work in PlayStation VR, not just little experiences, not just racing games, not just on-rail shooters, not just party games, but actual proper first-person AAA big budget releases They work, and they work really fucking well. And with the extra polish that a AAA game gives, the extra time, the extra budget, it makes the whole thing so much more believable. If you've been on the fence about buying a PlayStation VR, or you've had your PlayStation VR like gathering dust because there's nothing really that brilliant to play on it, you know, except for a few games. Most of them you've played and you've done with quickly. Do get it. You need to be pretty brave. It's not for the faint-hearted, but like it's justified my PlayStation VR purchase easily, and I am so happy that I bought one and I was able to experience it. And I hope that other developers have seen the success and seen the positive reviews of Resident Evil 7 in PSVR and will follow suit by not just making games tailored to the PlayStation VR, but taking experiences they're already making and making them PlayStation VR compatible. I'd love to play a Call of Duty game in PlayStation VR. I'd love to play Rainbow Six in PlayStation VR. It's opened the doors for the possibilities of some really awesome AAA games, and I really hope that we get to see some more, because it was absolutely fantastic.
Shit nuts.
So there you go, that was my list of 7 reasons why I think you lot should try out Resident Evil 7 on the PlayStation VR. If you enjoyed PlayStation VR videos, we got plenty more of them up on our channel, including a selection that are up on screen now. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more from Eurogamer. Goodbye.